Alright, we're getting close trying to get these darn tunnels, or this tunnel finished up here. So I went ahead and just put some ballast down. I don't really like it. I might change after the tunnel. Hopefully it doesn't cause a huge issue. This is Arizona Rock and Minerals. It's called, oh, I forget which one. I think it's a CSX Wabash Southern Pacific. It's a little bit too, what do I want to say, too tannish or too buffish for my. I like a little more gray, and I have some other stuff to try. It looked gray when it was in the, or grayer I should say, when it was in the container I put it in, but now it looks a little bit. I don't know how well it's going to show under these lights, but it's definitely not quite as gray as what I've seen and would like. Not a huge deal. We'll probably change over and just say the railroad, retied or reballasted, put new rails in or something like that. So we'll be fine. But I did get it in back into the tunnel right here, a little bit, and now I'm working on what we're going to do for the initial lining. I think on this side I might actually go with some of the Woodland Scenics, the cast ones, because they fit in there pretty nice. And then I have an idea for the little bit of an extension. What I'm going to try on this side, this is actually that Hecky rock foil, and what I'm struggling with is because it's a curved tunnel. If it was straight, I think it'd be a lot easier. If it was straight, I might even just use some foam glued together and just cut out an arch, and there you go. Which I guess I could have done here if I had planned ahead a little bit better, but I didn't. I mean, if I had brought that over to a little bit closer, I probably could have cut it and either put some scoop to mold on it or done something to make it look like a passable. As you're looking into the tunnel there, make it look passable. But again, live and learn. So this I cut out, and it's kind of like a foil, and I taped it to a backing sheet. This is some of the, it's actually kind of like archival cardboard that I was using, or mat board that I was using when I was doing photography. But I got it cut. I think I might be able to get it set in here, and at least on this one side here, back far enough, so I think it'll look okay. I realize the lighting in this corner isn't the greatest, but by the time I get it in there, and then I have one other piece here that I cut to kind of fit in the back next to it somehow, something like that. Again, I gotta be careful, it's gonna all fall now, but just enough so as you look in the tunnel, if someone were to come in here and lean over real far and go, oh wait a minute, something's wrong, I think it'll be alright, because then we get the top on, it's gonna be nice and dark, and that gets it back, it'd be roughly back to about here. So as you look in around that curve, I think that'll be okay. And I might do something, let's say back on this side, I got foam pieces. Once I get the first of the Woodland Scenics piece, which will kind of fit like that. Now, that's not far enough, but let's see, again, here's a piece of that Hecky rock foil. I bought it. It wasn't too expensive. I had an order at Scenic Express, so I just picked up some to try it. You never know until you try stuff. But it might work okay. Then I can probably get this, again, back in here somehow. I'll have to fold it and bend it and whatnot. But again, and I'll just take the camcorder, and as you look in, it should look okay. And I mean, from this angle on this side of the layout, the one piece is almost fine, but if you're over there, about where that paint can is, looking in, you can see further. You can kind of see in the tunnel portal and around a little bit more. So I might just go ahead and get this piece put in like that. Again, maybe fold it over, get some plaster cloth to keep it formed, and then I think once we get the top on it and it gets dark in there, I think it'll look okay. Again, because from this side, you can't even see, the left side of the portal. You certainly can see the right side there. But again, from over there, you can look in that tunnel and see. So I want to at least make it look decent when looking from that side. And then I think once we get the top of it on and it gets dark, I think that'll look okay. So that's kind of what we're going to try. We'll give it a shot here today, and maybe update and see how things look. I want to get this all done. It's just been lingering for a while, and I'm getting tired of coming down here and looking at it. I want to get it finished up and then move on. Also did put a little bit of that same ballast just underneath the bridge, I didn't want to have to be reaching underneath there when we do install the bridge and break it or something like that. So I got some of that stuff in there, and again, it looks okay, but I just don't really like the color all that much. Might be a little bit harder to blend it out here, but again, we can always say they came through and they did some work on the interlocking or something like that, and just kind of, you know, transition this ballast into some. I have some other stuff that looks a little bit more grayish than I'm looking for. So we'll see. So again, the bridge is kind of sitting there. Got some stuff painted. I want to finish up this over here again. Get that all in and start working on the back. I want to get this thing moving along. I'm getting a little upset with myself for worrying too much, because I want to do it right. I want it to look right, but I also want to get this thing done. So I'm gonna keep moving ahead. Hopefully get a bunch done over here over the weekend. I have Monday off, so we might delay the next update till Monday or perhaps Tuesday, depends how far we get along, just so we can show some more progress here. So, but we're gonna keep working, keep pushing ahead. So I'm in progress work here. Just got that this side in. I got some plaster cloth in there, kind of as a adhesive to help. A little bit of spillage here in the portal, but we'll be able to clean that up. That's all going to be worked into the scenery anyway, so I don't think it looks that bad. Of course, I got to fix up a little. I did use a little bit of liquid nails to kind of hold that in there across the bottom, and I'll go back in and touch that up with paint. On this side, I did put 2 of the Woodland Scenics, the ones that I cast since I had them, and then see the plasters and the plaster cloths in there. I kind of draped it across the top and then up onto the portal on the back side there to keep it in. And of course, I do have some adhesive that I got to clean up and touch up with some gray paint, but overall I think it's going to look all right. Let's see if I can hold the camcorder down here and see. I mean, obviously I still have to continue it on the right hand side there. I think so. I mean, maybe I should put everything on top and see how dark it is, and if I just painted that. But again, I do have one additional piece now of this hecky wood foil that I could put, you know, just kind of set it in there and trim it, and just to give you the illusion of a little portal. Again, you can bend it and move it around, and I don't really think you'd notice too terribly that it's different material and that it's going to be foil versus the plaster casting. We'll see. So I'll keep working. I'll keep working on that. Like I mentioned, this is the view over from that wonderful paint can. So as you're looking into the portal from this side, you can see how it, you know, the one piece does a pretty nice job. Whew, mega zoom. And then the other piece, if I kind of fit it in there, and it's all dark, I think it would look okay. So that might work, you know, for the back side there. And I have that foil, so I might as well use it. On this side, oops, sorry for that, I'm really shaky because I'm zoomed. Again, that does that. I don't know if that's going to be enough, if I get it all dark in there. If that's enough, or I'll have to put like another piece there on the left-hand side. So we'll see. But I think overall, this should work okay. And we'll keep plugging away and see how far we get. Alright, got a little in progress stuff here. Down here, pretty much got this tunnel set the way we want it. See on the top there, I have the hatch set in there. I did decide to put one piece of the plaster cloth around part of it, just to kind of keep everything aligned. Then what I'll do is I'll come in there, I'll cut that so that that hatch can lift up. It pretty much is joined in. Set along here. It comes down along the front here. Then again, I'll cut it over there. Oh, sorry for the fast moving there. And along there. Then it'll just pop out, because there was a little bit of a gap there. So this way it should be nice and close when we put it all back together again. So that's what we're going to try with that. It ties in okay with the backdrop. Again, I'm not sure it makes sense, but I need to have a tunnel right here. But that's what we're going to do. So then I'd like to perhaps make this, you know, the extension of the farm here. Maybe have a field here. It's kind of flat, so I'd like to maybe undulate it a little bit. Not exactly sure how to do that with some shaper sheet or a thin piece of foam, and just go carving crazy. And again, the tunnel liners are in a combination of the Woodland Scenics tunnel portal liners that are cast, and the Hecky, there's my phone, and the Hecky rock foil on this side. Again, it's a little harder to see, but got that done. So that's got some paint drying on it right now. Did get the center section finally put in here for a little bit of a hill over there between the two. And the bridge is just still sitting there right for the moment. I did put a piece of plaster cloth down around on this road here, just to give it a nice smooth surface. I'm probably going to try to smooth it from Woodland Scenics to make the road, up to the intersection. There's going to be a little back road up here. Maybe you probably have a house here, maybe a smaller house up there, or a garage or something. And then of course got to extend it over to the back side there. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to try something, because again, trying to make it realistic. In there, that's going to be hard to see just because of the angle, but I'm going to put in there, I'm going to get some plaster and actually make a little culvert with a pipe. This has got pretty much a drainage ditch along the side of the road running down the hill, and then it's going to go into a culvert there. So I'm going to get some lightweight hydrocal and just kind of form it by hand and put a little bit of a evergreen tube in there and paint it up, make it look like a culvert. It goes underneath the road there for drainage. So we'll see how that works out. And that right there, we'll go over and take a quick look at the other tunnel we might. All right, on the way over, I did do some work along here. Don't really like it. It's way too close, but it is what it is. I think it's a little bit better through here, so I just kind of got that in and formed. And again, I'm not sure if I'm going to put this water tower or maybe a microwave tower or something. I don't know. I like to put a microwave tower in. If you ever go look at those, there's a lot more involved with a microwave tower than just a tower. If you ever see one, stop in and look. It's got a lot of equipment by the base of the tower, so it looks could be interesting model scene. All right, so over here again, I just finally painted that little area there from this side. Decided to put some rocks in there. Not done yet, but it's so darn close I just couldn't figure out how to make a nice hill, so I put some rock castings in there and we'll get the all scenic up. And then in here, what we're thinking of doing is Steve thinks it'd be cool to have a tunnel pretty much coming pretty soon off of the workbench there, and then maybe down to about where those X's are. So what I'm trying here, all kinds of different methods. This is I took some foam, put it together, and then with a new foam cutter I got, it might be a separate video, but I kind of cut out the tunnel. More because I just wanted to try it. I mean, and there's lots of ways you can do stuff. I just wanted to try that. And then for this side, what I did was I took some, I need my test cars here. This is Woodland Scenics Shaper Sheet, and I kind of crumpled it up and again painted that gray. Just some Rust-Oleum gray primer to give it the look of rock, and then that might sit, because you got to form it, because again if we put it here, it is on a slight curve, and this one again is on a curve. We don't pick anything easy, so this is kind of cut out. I mean, I had to do it by hand. It certainly is not the prettiest in the world, but I got this set up so that it can sit basically right in there. It's a little tough to do one-handed. And the portal sits against it. And I did check it that I might not have it set right, but the cars do clear going through it on the sides, so that's obviously a plus. Actually, that's kind of a requirement, isn't it? And like I said, the portal. This won't be placed exactly right, but I made it so that it could fit in there. So when I secure it in, I can secure it to that and then build the scenery around it. And likewise over here, it has a little bit of tabs on it. So let's just take a look around and see kind of what it looks like looking into the other side. And I think it looks okay. If I do a zoom here, when it's painted up, I don't really think it's going to look too bad. We get things worked in around it, get the scenery all done. If you look from way up at this angle, you can't really tell now, I don't have the workshop light on, but way at the end, you can see some light. But again, that's just the way it is now, and it's all going to be covered and everything. So I think it looks all right. And again, we did check that it. Oops, I'm not going to be able to push it. Sorry, without dropping the camcorder. And yeah, it's not perfect. If you look at this side, you can see right there where it went from the Woodland Scenics tunnel portal castings to the foil. But again, it's okay, because you're not really going to be leaning like this. Because in order to really see it, you'd have to lean across here, which you have trees and stuff. So unless you're going to be like smashing my forest to peek in our tunnel. Let me take this. It might be too dark, but I think it's okay. It's acceptable. Again, because this scene will be scenic here with trees and whatnot, and I don't really think that you'll lean over too far. Now you might from back here be able to lean in, because this is going to be the facility that's in here, and what shouldn't be trees or scenery. But I think it looks all right. And I think that one looks all right. So I might try it. So that gives us actually four different methods we used for tunnels. Woodland Scenics cast liners, matched with the Hecky foil rock, a carved foam liner, and then a shaper sheet formed and painted liner, which I think I'm going to use over there, just to try it. You can see I like to try different stuff. So, all right, that's kind of where we are. I'm going to keep working a little bit here, and Steve said he wants to run some trains through the tunnel, so maybe we'll try to get that going. Getting that bridge right now, it's just sitting there. Needs to be set in place, but I want to get everything painted because it kind of helps me think and see and visualize things a little bit better, as opposed to having pink and blue and green and white and all the different colors. Like I said, I want to get pretty much I want to get this done so I can finish this little triangle here, get that done, and then be still able to come into here and work the scenery as we work it around. I have to get this bridge figured out, get that carved out and put in place, and then figure out what we're going to put up here. I'm going to put maybe one of my farmhouses I have built, and then a small field up here. Don't forget that right here is where the speaker is, so something to cover that will allow sound to come out. And then I don't know what else we're going to put through here, but we're getting there. And then I want to work on that custom formed culvert there. I don't know how that's going to work out, but I'll try it. So we're getting there. I think it's almost time also to get some fascia up, because that's starting to look really ugly there. Now that's all going to be covered when we get the fascia in, but for now it looks pretty too much pink. But we'll get there. We'll get there. I want to get some of the hard scenery done so I can clean this place up, because this is just an absolute mess in here. See, this is now the work area. It's got foam cutters and foam and brushes and wires and knives and plaster cloth and saws and old roads removed and everything. So I want to get it cleaned up. I got to vacuum the heck out of this floor in here. So, all right. So that's enough chit chat. Let me get back to work, and maybe we'll do something a little bit later today. All right, here we are. Gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I did a little bit more. I got the that tunnel. You can see it's in drying back there. I did go ahead and gonna try it like that. I think it'll look okay. I mean, it looks weird now, but. And then the other one, I'll probably do something like that. Like, it's just sitting there. I didn't really do much more to it. Just took about an hour to clean up, because when I run a train through the tunnel, see how it looks. So that's done. The road's in. I did try to form this little. That's not going to show. I'll crawl underneath and see what it looks like. This still needs some work, but what I did was I used some of the shaper sheet plaster. And interesting stuff. I mixed up a batch initially that was way too heavy in plaster. I was just kind of eyeballing it, and it set up almost immediately. So the next batch I kind of mixed per the directions, and it was kind of soupy, which I think is the way it's supposed to be. And I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting, and I started getting it in, and I formed it here along the side, and I stuck a little piece of tube in there. I'm going to come back down and dress it up. Maybe, color it so it looks like it's concrete. I think it'll look okay. But man, this stuff, almost instantly, when it starts to set, it instantly set. It was kind of odd, because I had it in the thing, I was working with it, and I put it in here, so that was starting to set. And I literally went about this far, over there, where I had the the bowl sitting, and it was almost rock hard already. So it seems to, obviously it's meant more for. And I was trying it. I just slapped some on here just to kind of see what it sets up. Hard. It's hard. It's interesting stuff. Definitely makes a good hard shell. I can see how it would work well over the shaper sheet, but it was just kind of neat or interesting, I guess, the way it kind of instantly set up after about a 10-minute working time. So just FYI. So there's that in there. Like I said, the tunnel's in. Got to work on probably some fascia and a little bit more on top there. I was just letting that cloth set before I went ahead and cut it. But you can kind of see how it, I'll work it into the backdrop there. And then up there, I'm going to put those stone in there just because it was so darn close to the corner there. I don't really like it, but I think it'll look okay once we get it in there, get it scenic and whatnot. And then next we got to work here on Lake City. I did get that done. I did add a little bit of a retaining wall there coming off of down the road. Then I said we got this stuff done over here, and pretty much around to there, and that's pretty much where we are. So I do kind of like this little hatch here. It's kind of neat, get an interesting view. That'll be kind of fun to see. Oh, you can see we got some rail fans that are waiting for a train to come. They think something's coming. They heard something on the scanner leaving the yard, so we'll see what happens. So, alright, so more to come. Again, we're going to keep working the scenery, maybe get this road done. I want to get all the foam behind, although most of the main foam work is done. I didn't do anything over there. I still got to work on that. Get the abutments, whether get it in, then I can start working that area there. Then there's a whole lot to do in the yard, but it's not really going to be a whole lot of foam work. It's more how I'm going to tie the backdrop in, and then obviously the transformer factory. So a lot of the foam stuff, the major work, I'd say is pretty much done. And now it's of course getting the ground cover in and trees and bushes and all that. So we're going to keep working that. So let's see if these guys were right, if they heard something leaving the yard. your host for tonight. Just to real briefly show you here. This is just got this, the Walthers Mainline ST70 Ace. This is the sound version. You see what I paid there. Actually, I paid less than that. I had pre-ordered it, and it's not a bad locomotive. I mean, I'm not going to do a review of it. Just going to kind of show you what it is and give you some thoughts. It sounds pretty decent. It's got a nice bell and a nice horn. So not too bad. Haven't even tried programming it yet. Haven't played with it at all. Just took it out of the box, and you can see we didn't even put the front coupler on. Now it is lacking the handrails. You notice they're missing. But then again, for roughly about 120 some bucks for the sound version, I don't think it's all that bad. You know, we got it more for you know, perhaps being in a consist, and the price for sound was just so low, to be honest. I said, I'll order one to see what it's like. Not too bad. I'm sure there's tons of reviews on this on YouTube already. Kind of see what it looks like. So not overall not bad. I didn't compare it to the prototype 1125. We'll probably actually renumber it because everyone's going to have 1125. But overall, I mean, again, for what you're paying for it, it really isn't that bad at all. It runs nice and slow. I mean, I think Steve can put it like at speed step 2. And it moves along nice and smooth. And now the windows aren't tinted. I see some light leak in there out of the back of the cab. I'm not sure the horn's correct. That kind of nitpicky stuff, but hey, if you're looking for something relatively inexpensive and you know it sounds decent, let's give the bell one more time. And horn. Does it have a short horn? F3. Yeah, so it's not bad at all. So I know Cletus and Elmo here are pretty impressed with it. It's overall not a bad locomotive for the price. Now the ditch lights don't flash. I don't know if that can be programmed. You know, on the Norfolk Southern they would flash, but really overall, pretty nice locomotive for what you're paying for it. Now of course you probably want to add, you know, the nitpickers are going to want to add the grab irons and all that stuff, and we will eventually. We'll get to it, but overall, like I said, I didn't do a dimensional check, and I didn't look at actual photographs of this engine. And obviously, you can see on the side of the hoods, there's lots of the decals are missing. That are, you know, you'll get those on the more expensive competitors. But if you want something to take out of a box and get running, this is not a bad choice. So I just wanted to show that a little bit. Not too bad. Pretty impressive. And I think they're also coming out with a GE locomotive, so maybe that might be worth picking up one too. Again, because you know, some of these things you do some work on them and make them good for consist locomotives and whatnot. So overall, not a bad locomotive.